Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has become the first sitting Chief Minister in independent India to be arrested by a central agency. He was arrested by the Enforcement Directorate after 2 hours of questioning in connection with the alleged Delhi liquor policy scam case. Remember, this happened at Mr. Kejriwal's residence in the national capital. The ED reached there with a search warrant and then started questioning Mr. Kejriwal. After 2 hours of questioning, Arvind Kejriwal was arrested and has been brought to the Enforcement Directorate office. He is currently in custody and will be produced in the court tomorrow, in fact on Friday. And earlier this evening, a 12-member Enforcement Directorate team landed at Mr. Kejriwal's residence with a search warrant. Remember, Arvind Kejriwal so far has dodged 9 summons by the Enforcement Directorate. Today, his arrest came just hours after the High Court denied him interim protection in the same case. So let me very quickly at this moment go across to my colleagues, those who have been reporting continuously on this story for the last few hours. Vedant Agarwal joins us from outside the residence of the Chief Minister, where the Aam Aadmi Party, in fact, was protesting this a short while back. Aishwarya, my colleagues, is also at the Enforcement Directorate office. Aishwarya, coming to you first. Arvind Kejriwal is inside the Enforcement Directorate. What now happens? I mean, how will his night be in ED's custody, and what will happen in the morning?
Well, as I said, currently in the international capital, Enforcement Directorate headquarters remains the most sensitive location because Aam Aadmi Party on one side had called for massive mobilization of Aam Aadmi Party cadres. We have seen huge protests outside Arvind Kejriwal's residence when he was arrested by the ED officials, and protests taking place at different locations as well. Now tomorrow, what we are hearing from Aam Aadmi Party is that massive protest also planned at around 10 a.m. when we have been told Arvind Kejriwal will be produced before the court. Now, one thing that happened soon after Arvind Kejriwal was produced or brought at the Enforcement Directorate headquarters is that a team of RML hospital, team of doctors have been called, and the medical examination of Arvind Kejriwal was done. Post that, he would be kept at the lockup, which is at the ground floor of Enforcement Directorate headquarters. A lot of movement still happening at the ED headquarters. All those officials who came along with Arvind Kejriwal from his residence now leaving after that formality or the paperwork that needs to be done. Apart from it, after spending a night over here, Mr. Kejriwal tomorrow would be again undergoing a medical examination. A team of RML hospital will be called tomorrow morning as well, and after that he will be produced before the court, where Enforcement Directorate will seek further custody of Mr. Kejriwal because ED officials have stated that they need to confront K. Kavita with different Aam Aadmi Party leaders who were under arrest a few months or years back, and also now Arvind Kejriwal, who had a fresh arrest being made by Enforcement Directorate. So on one side also there will be developments in the courts, as Aam Aadmi Party will be looking forward for some sort of relief from the Supreme Court, as they will approach tomorrow morning, because tonight the hearing was not given permission by the Chief Justice of India, although Aam Aadmi Party reached out to the Supreme Court registrar. But on the other side, it would be the Rouse Avenue Court, where Arvind Kejriwal will be produced physically, or it could be virtually as well, looking at the law and order situation. And tomorrow morning, it would be Arvind Kejriwal who would be appearing in front of the court, where Enforcement Directorate will seek further custody. Now, this all come after a setback by Delhi High Court today, that Arvind Kejriwal did not got any interim relief as far as what Arvind Kejriwal demanded, that he should not be at very earliest arrested, or right. He should not, and therefore the reason perhaps after refusing 9 summons, Arvind Kejriwal today got arrested. So major deployment of Delhi police currently at the ED headquarters over here.
Vedant, more or less the last few months, it was expected that Mr. Kejriwal would be arrested. This was in the offing. The Aam Aadmi Party time and again kept saying that this is imminent. For this imminent arrest, what is the plan that the Aam Aadmi Party has been able to draw? Because Mr. Kejriwal is not only their chief, but the main face for the party, their main vote catcher ahead of the Lok Sabha elections, the main campaigner is now behind bars.
Absolutely, Ankit. Before I come to that, let me show you these visuals here right outside the Chief Minister's residence in Delhi. There's still heavy deployment of senior police officials, paramilitary forces, CRPF jawans, rapid action forces, all continue to sort of man the entrance of the Chief Minister's residence, anticipating protests. And the immediate fallout, of course, is going to be the massive protest that the Aam Aadmi Party has planned. All karyakartas of the party across Delhi, from councillors to party workers to karyakartas to senior leaders, all of them have been asked to gather at the ITO office of the Aam Aadmi Party, and all cabinet ministers will be present there too, because the immediate challenge is to keep the cadre together. Because remember, there's a crucial time. This is the Lok Sabha polls, the run-up to the Lok Sabha polls, and they have to keep the morale of their cadre high across states. Because remember, the Aam Aadmi Party in the last couple of months has tried to expand to newer states, whether it was Haryana, where it sort of pitched to fight the assembly polls alone, in Punjab, of course, even in Goa for that matter, Madhya Pradesh, where the Aam Aadmi Party sort of contested on almost all seats as far as the assembly polls are concerned. And as you said, Arvind Kejriwal was their sort of mainstay, was the fulcrum of the Aam Aadmi Party. And sort of very quickly looking at how the dynamics have played out in the past couple of months, Arvind Kejriwal, as I said earlier as well, has sort of very strategically transferred all his portfolios and even portfolios, those of Manish Sisodia and Satyendra Jain, to Atishi and Saurabh Bharadwaj. In fact, remember, Arvind Kejriwal had not taken away the portfolios of Satyendra Jain and Manish Sisodia for a very long time, until Manish Sisodia was arrested and their portfolios were transferred to Atishi and Saurabh Bharadwaj. Now they are going to be shouldering the responsibility of not just the administration here in the national capital, but also sort of their campaign as well. Of course, Bhagwant Mann happens to be now the sort of main campaigner of the Aam Aadmi Party, who has accompanied Arvind Kejriwal in all state campaigns. And you said that Aam Aadmi Party, of course, continues to say that Arvind Kejriwal will stay on as a chief minister. That is a political statement to make, but the Aam Aadmi Party's legal team, I can tell you for certain, has been constantly working on this, not just for the past a month or so, but for the past couple of months, to sort of iron out their strategy. And they will, of course, the Supreme Court hearing on Friday is critical, because the Aam Aadmi Party hopes for a relief there throughout the evening today. Ankit, they've been in touch with their legal team. The legal team reached the Supreme Court Registrar's office, the residence as well. So Friday is going to be crucial. Massive protests planned. Arvind Kejriwal will be produced before the Rouse Avenue Court, and that key Supreme Court hearing likely as well.
Right. Before I let both of you go, Aishwarya, very quickly, when the ED takes Mr. Kejriwal tomorrow to the Rouse Avenue Court, what will be largely the argument that they will present so that they can get custody for Mr. Kejriwal?
Well, from Arvind Kejriwal's residence, the gadgets that Arvind Kejriwal had used, those data had been dumped by our Enforcement Directorate, and also the statements that have been recorded earlier by Enforcement Directorate of the accused in the alleged Delhi liquor policy case. Those statements needs to be confronted, and also those people who had been arrested, including K. Kavita very recently, as Enforcement Directorate had also stated before the court when K. Kavita was produced, that K. Kavita had to be confronted with several of the accused in this case, and that needs to be done with Arvind Kejriwal as well, because the allegations that have been levelled by the Enforcement Directorate that Arvind Kejriwal was present in those meetings which took place at his residence, and he knew all about the policy making at that point of time. So the confrontation process and the recording of statements needs to be done, and therefore the reason perhaps perhaps Enforcement Directorate can seek 7 days custody of Arvind Kejriwal. That's also the sources within the Enforcement Directorate clearly telling us at this moment. So in all likelihood, more custody of Arvind Kejriwal with the confrontation with other accused who had been arrested earlier is something that would be the future course of action. But as of now, it would be tomorrow morning when the entire route from Enforcement Directorate headquarters to Rouse Avenue Court would be very sensitive, because on that very way it leads to Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Marg,
That's right.
where Aam Aadmi Party headquarters also is, and that remains very sensitive location.
And that is where, Vedant, very quickly, that the Aam Aadmi Party has asked all its supporters, MLAs, ministers to gather at 10 a.m. tomorrow. So Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Marg tomorrow could become the latest confrontation point between the Aam Aadmi Party, the Delhi police. Also interestingly, Vedant, while you were reporting and you mentioned that we saw those sound bites as well, the arrest of the chief minister, interestingly, the Congress was the first to complain in this case, but at this moment standing behind shoulder to shoulder with the Aam Aadmi Party.
Absolutely, Ankit, a show of strength and show of solidarity there. Of course, you had Arvinder Lovely here and Sandeep Dikshit, all the senior leaders of the Congress present here, standing right beside Atishi and Saurabh as they sort of try to keep the morale high of the workers. And yes, Deen Dayal Upadhyaya is going to be a major sort of point of confrontation tomorrow, as it has in the past as well, because remember, that is where the BJP headquarters also are. Just sort of very close to that is the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters. So it is going to be, we are going to see some sort of skirmishes and scuffle tomorrow, because today also, remember, all those supporters of the Aam Aadmi Party were dragged away by the police, and they were all sort of taken to the nearest thanas. So tomorrow the protests are going to be massive, because the Aam Aadmi Party also has to make a point, and this is also sort of an agenda setting for the upcoming Lok Sabha polls, Ankit.
Could this become one of the galvanizing factor for the India alliance, in fact, to rise above their own political differences? That only time will tell, but a crucial day for the Aam Aadmi Party, for its chief Arvind Kejriwal. Vedant, Aishwarya, thank you for continuously reporting on this story and keeping the viewers of NDTV ahead with the latest updates. With that, we are slipping into a very short break. Updates on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Now, Arvind Kejriwal's arrest has united the opposition, especially the India Alliance. At this moment, top leaders from the India Alliance have come out in full support of Arvind Kejriwal and have slammed the Modi government. In fact, Congress leaders Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi have tweeted in support of Arvind Kejriwal. Priyanka Gandhi has gone ahead and said that this is an unconstitutional arrest. Meanwhile, Rahul Gandhi, the Congress MP, said the arrest of Chief Minister now is a common phenomenon. Arvind Kejriwal also found support from Derek O'Brien of the TMC, who said that vehemently condemned the arrest of Delhi Chief Minister. Supriya Sule of the NCP Sharad Pawar faction also came out in support of Arvind Kejriwal and said government wants to suppress opposition's voice. Sitaram Yechuri of the CPIM also tweeted on the website X and said Modi and BJP are in panic mode. Akhilesh Yadav of the Samajwadi Party has reacted and said Arvind Kejriwal's arrest will lead to a new People's Revolution. M.K. Stalin, Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, has also supported Arvind Kejriwal and has said this smacks of desperate witch hunt by the government. Meanwhile, Pinarayi Vijayan, the Kerala Chief Minister, has also extended support to Mr. Kejriwal, and he has said that this is an effort to shut down opposition voices ahead of the Lok Sabha polls. Sharad Pawar, the senior leader of the NCP, Sharad Pawar, said this showcases depth to which BJP will stoop for power. Meanwhile, interestingly, BRS, which is not part of the India Alliance, but K.T. Rama Rao, the BRS leader, whose sister K. Kavita has also been arrested by the Enforcement Directorate, as in the same building at Mr. Kejriwal in the national headquarters of the ED. He has also extended support, and he said ED and CBI have become chief instruments of repression by the BJP. There have been continuous reactions from the opposition, from the Bharatiya Janata Party on Mr. Kejriwal's arrest. Let's listen in to few.
Atish, what is going to be the strategy now of the Aam Aadmi Party? Arvind Kejriwal has been arrested. I've spoken to you multiple times in the past few months, and you've anticipated that this would happen, and it has finally happened.
See, it's very clear this is a political conspiracy by the Bharatiya Janata Party. Bharatiya Janata Party spokespersons come and say on television, Arvind Kejriwal is going to get arrested, Arvind Kejriwal is going to get arrested. And then soon after that, the next day, ED sends a summon, CBI sends a summon. So it is very clear that just as the Lok Sabha elections have been announced, you freeze the bank account of one political party, you arrest one chief minister, now you are arresting a second chief minister. Is this how BJP plans to win elections? Where has the democracy gone in our country?
Okay. Looking at the legalities now, given the fact that he's been arrested, he holds a constitutional post, he'll either have to step down or, he may be suspended by the Lieutenant Governor or so on and so forth. Is there going to be a change of guard? Are we expecting now you to be the next Chief Minister of Delhi?
Kejriwal was the Chief Minister, is the Chief Minister and will remain the Chief Minister of Delhi. Arvind Kejriwal has not been convicted, therefore nothing prevents him from holding his constitutional office. Otherwise, it's a very simple way of ending all opposition, right? You file fake cases, arrest people under PMLA and then say now you resign. Right. So Arvind Kejriwal is going to remain the Chief Minister of Delhi. We have always clearly said that if needed, he will run the government from the heart.
So there's no strategy in place as to a change of guard, and have you been able to establish communication with anybody inside?
There is no communication with anyone inside, obviously, because we also respect the law and order and the machinery of the ED, because obviously that it is once a search is going on, once a interrogation is going on, then it may not be appropriate to be in touch. But you can see how the people from all over Delhi have gathered here.
Are there going to be massive protests tomorrow? Have you planned mobilizations across Delhi?
See, we don't need to plan anything. People of Delhi love Arvind Kejriwal. People of Delhi consider Arvind Kejriwal a family member. They regard him as their brother, as their son. So it is not as if we have mobilized people. As soon as people have seen it in the news, they have started coming in heavy numbers.
Okay, my last question to you. Are you going to take it to the courts now and looking at the politics of it also? Before that.
Yes, we are going to go. We have already filed in the Supreme Court. Our legal team is at the home of the Supreme Court Registrar and we were asking for an urgent hearing tonight itself.
भारत की जनता और दिल्ली की जनता खासकर कट्टर बेईमान अरविंद केजरीवाल की गिरफ्तारी का स्वागत कर रही है। ये स्पष्ट हो गया है कि अरविंद केजरीवाल ही शराब घोटाले का किंगपिन है। दिल्ली हाईकोर्ट ने भी आज अरविंद केजरीवाल को कोई राहत नहीं दी, क्योंकि जो साक्ष्य जांच एजेंसी ईडी ने इकट्ठे किए थे उनमें दम था।
चुनाव से बुकला के हरकतें कर रही है। कांग्रेस के अकाउंट सील किए जाते हैं, हेमंत सोरेन जी को उठाया जाता है। आज दिल्ली के अंदर भी टाइमिंग देखिए आप, किस टाइमिंग के ऊपर जो है वो एक्शन लिया जा रहा है जब चुनाव शुरू हो गए हैं। तो निश्चित रूप से लोकतंत्र के लिए एजेंसीज का मिसयूज जो है वो शर्मनाक है। और आप पार्टी हमारी गठबंधन की पार्टनर है, हम मजबूती के साथ उनके साथ खड़े हैं और उनके साथ मिलकर चुनाव लड़ेंगे।
हमारे नेताओं के साथ भी हुआ है, दिन में होता है, सवेरे आते हैं, बातचीत करते हैं, उसके बाद आप करें। इसका क्या ये कोई तरीका है कि रात को 1 बजे 2 बजे आप किसी के यहाँ जाके गिरफ्तारी करें? और जो पिछले कुछ समय से हम लोग देख रहे हैं, चाहे हमारे अकाउंट्स को फ्रीज करने की बात हो, हेमंत सोरेन के अरेस्ट की बात हो, केजरीवाल जी के अरेस्ट करने की बात हो, ये ईडी इसको केवल चुनाव के साथ जोड़ रहा है, इसका और कोई लेना देना नहीं है। और इस बात को हम कंडेम करते हैं, इसकी हम घोर निंदा करते हैं। एजेंसियों का इस तरीके से मोदी सरकार का दुरुपयोग करना अपने में सरासर गलत है, गैर लोकतांत्रिक है।
Moving on now, in fact, it's just not Mr. Kejriwal. There is another opposition leader who is in trouble with the agency. CBI has filed an FIR in the cash for query case against former TMC MP Mahua Moitra. In fact, this case has been filed, this FIR has been filed against Mahua Moitra after the order of the Lokpal. Earlier, Ms. Moitra was expelled from the Lok Sabha. She has now once again been given ticket by the TMC to fight the upcoming 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Remember, there is another court case which is also going in. So this is going to be a test as far as Mahua Moitra is concerned, who is seeking another term as the Member of Parliament on the TMC ticket. That's all the time that we have in this edition. News and updates continue on NDTV. Thank you so much for being with us.